We begin tonight from Gombe State, where the Easter celebration in the state capital turned tragic, following the killing of 12 persons in an incident involving an official of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, the NSCDC, and members of the Boys Brigade Corps. The official of the Civil Defense Corps reportedly rammed his car into the procession of the Boys Brigade in the Sabunlai area of the metropolis following an argument. 9 members of the Boys Brigade were reportedly killed on the spot. And in retaliation, the surviving colleagues allegedly mobbed the security official along with an unidentified passenger.
Chimak on Sabunlai Road in the heart of Gombe metropolis. It is unusually quiet, even on a day Christians are celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But then, there are obvious signs that all is not well around here. Bloodstains, broken planks, all showing that there had been an unrest. Right here at the hospital, the story is better told. Sad faces, a cluster of mourners, and women hoping for good news from the doctors.
We were just going. We occupied one lane due to our number. There was no way other vehicles could pass, so they were using the other lane. So this man, 2 of them came in Honda Civic. It was golden color. So as they came, they refused to follow the other lane as other people were doing. So they came towards the place we were, and they were coming in full speed. So we had to stop him. That was the first time. So after doing so, we didn't know that he went and followed the U-turn and came back towards our back when we were coming towards the town.
The state's deputy governor is also one of the early callers at the hospital. He is obviously saddened by the incident.
I want to assure you that this is a time for us to keep calm, give ourselves a little time so that we think about it and do something about it. My assurance is simple. As a Christian also, something is going to be done about this big thing that happened in Gombe State.
The men are gathered here to sympathize with the families of those affected, and they hope the deputy governor stands by his words of assurance that the matter will not go uninvestigated, as they pray never again to experience such a sad occurrence in Gombe.
There's also been an attack by gunmen on Shirere village in Kankara local government area of Katsina State. At least 9 persons were reportedly killed in that attack, and residents say that the gunmen who arrived the community on motorcycles shot at villagers, burning shops and vehicles in the ensuing rampage. The spokesperson of the Katsina State Police Command, Mr. Gumby, told Channels Television that bodies of the victims have since been evacuated by a combined effort of police and community members. He explains that officials of Operation Puff Adder had been deployed to the area to restore sanity and apprehend the perpetrators. He has also appealed to members of the public to assist the police with timely information about the movements of the bandits and their collaborators, just as he promised to avert a recurrence. This is the second time on the area in the space, second attack on the area in the space of 2 weeks, as 14 people were killed at Samir Gino in neighboring village in a similar onslaught by gunmen. More stories now in Ogun State. Relatives of the slain 25-year-old auto mechanic shot dead by men of the Police Zonal Intervention Squad in Ifo, Ogun State, are demanding justice for the death of their son, who was also an expectant father. The State Police Commissioner, Mr. Bashir Wakama, is promising to get to the root of the matter. The officers involved in the murder have been arrested.
Law and order broke down temporarily at Yano Koker area of Ifo in Ogun State on Sunday when a team of police officers shot and killed a 25-year-old man. Family members of the slain man are still in shock.
SARS just coming. By the time they come, he say, "We want to arrest the boy." Okay, arrest him. He give you the handcuff. So after he handcuff him, he taking the back of the red Mazda. He carry it away. So by the time he go in, he begin shoot. So the shooting, the gun will shoot. Now go and pick this my brother.
The Ogun State Commissioner of Police, Bashir Makama, visits them.
The man that was fell tried to resist arrest, where some weapons had been recovered in their enclave. In that situation, he was shot and he died.
Although normalcy appears to have returned to the town, images of locked shops, burnt vehicles, and damaged constituency offices are still visible.
The policemen that are involved have equally been apprehended. One of those suspects that tried to resist arrest is also in custody, and then subsequently others will be identified, because we must separate criminality from spontaneous community action.
The Commissioner of Police also visits the traditional ruler of Ifo, Samuel Atanda, who asked residents of the town to allow the law to take its course.
Ifo is a very large town, and with this, we just have to appeal to them to please keep calm and be very law-abiding citizens.
With these arrests claimed to have been effected by the police, there appears to be some hope that justice will be served.
The increase in attacks by bandits in parts of the country is no doubt alarming. How this crisis is being tackled by security agencies is also a thing of concern for Nigerians. In this report, our correspondent, Oreoluwa Sonibare, examines the rising trend of violence and how the federal government is addressing the issue.
This frightening statistics provided by the Zamfara state government on the carnage of bandits in just 4 months of 2019 raises the question on what more the federal government needs to do to put an end to the security challenges in the country.
The operation is holistic. We want to make sure that no stone is left unturned and all these criminals are dealt with squarely.
So our areas of operation basically covers the entire northwest, but our efforts presently are concentrated on all the forests around Zamfara state and the surrounding states.
Surprisingly, it appears that the moves of the security agencies are not yielding the desired results. Or what else can it be said when bandits, just after having their hideouts destroyed by the Air Force, regroup, ransack villages, leaving death and destruction in their wake? Another thing of note is how elements of violence seem to take turns in creating diversions, using different names but applying the same venom. So what does the federal government need to do? Is power for power the way to go? Some have suggested that exploring the strategy of reviving the economy and making jobs available might just make a difference.
Those children we do not train and we do not equip will rise to fight. Almajiris will rise to fight. Area boys will rise to fight. And once the Almajiris in the north and the area boys in the south join hands together, we are not all safe. It's in our enlightened interest. I don't want to use self alone, corporate interest to ensure that there's a future for our young people and for the children.
For any nation to live peacefully, there must first be a desire to address all the issues that lead to strife. That perhaps might just be what Nigeria needs. Oreoluwa Sonibare, Channels Television News.
Well, let's now examine this troubling situation further. And we're now being joined on the news at 10 by a retired military officer, Major General Cecil Sekagbe. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the news at 10. All of a sudden, when attacks by Boko Haram insurgents appeared to be, subsiding following military onslaught we recorded over the past 6 months, if you will, even to a year, we're witnessing this upsurge in killings by those said to be bandits. Do you believe this is Boko Haram that has turned out a different name?
Well, it's all, a mixture of so many factors. If you look at the situation at hand now, you know that the earlier we shift away from treating the symptoms and looking at the causes of all these things, the better for us. For instance, the twin evil of proliferation of small arms and light weapons and the narcotic effect of abuse of drugs in this country are precipitating this crisis. So the earlier we address those things, because these are the things that, you know, are direct catalysts to all this gamut of security challenges that we're having. How do you get these weapons tackled? Instead of looking at, you know, ad hoc measures, presidential committees, task forces, the earlier we set up the appropriate institutional mechanism, like National Commission for, you know, Small Arms and Light Weapons, like Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration Commission for the arrest of, you know, small arms and light weapons. Let me tell you the startling statistics. For drugs, in Nigeria, for United Nations Drug and Crime Control, about 10.6 Nigerians are cannabis, about 4.6 are on opioids, 2.8 are on syrups, while about 92,000 are on cocaine. Not even talking of, you know, the stimulants and tranquilizers that come into play. So these are the areas we must address. Then for the small arms and light weapons, what happens to the porous borders? What effort is the government doing to curtail this? Task forces, ad hoc measures are not a clear solution.
So where do we go from here? Because one wonders that if at this time we have these deadly bandits that are operating in the country, you know, greet our people with this level of violence, and you say that we're not tackling the root causes of it, what would you recommend? Is it a structural defect?
Well, it's a complication of so many factors. For instance, like I said, let us look, you must know your enemy. That is the first thing. You must know your enemy. How do you know your enemy? You know, by a very determined intelligence gathering. And this is where we need, you know, a very thorough interagency cooperation. If you don't know your enemy, you don't even know what you're fighting. Because right now it's a frightening dimension. And look at the, you know, the telling effect. You know, the security agencies are also getting overwhelmed because some of the tools they need to do their job, do they really have them? For instance, in the West African region here, let's talk about the Lake Chad Basin Authority of Chad, Nigeria, and Niger Republic. Niger Republic GDP, 3% is for defense spending. Chad is 4.5%. Nigeria is a paltry 1.6% our GDP spending, which is thoroughly inadequate. So if we rely on normal budgeting for feeding armed forces and the police, we can't get anywhere.
That's a good place to let it rest. I must thank you so much indeed, Major General Cecil Esekaigbe, a retired military officer. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.